back, friends old and new. Deis Ferrous here. Hope everybody's doing well. We are continuing on with Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. When last we left off, we finally got back to Dargonis at the Von Valancius Palace as it was being attacked by Ducati. I apparently and unfortunately didn't notice I was wasting time, and we ended up getting to Dargonis too late. So the Drukhari actually had a very efficient and relatively smooth initial attack and siege on our capital world. I goofed up, and I do feel really bad about that. So we are actively fighting our way through the Ducati. Last pistol. What makes you heavy? You seem more squishy than most others. Why is there only the one of you? This feels misleading. I don't quite trust this. So I'm gonna go there. Can I see you go there? Just in here left. I don't quite trust this. Something feels off. I don't trust there's just one low Ducati. Sure.
Favorable. Request approved.
And
Running binary override.
sure. What's the catch
My
here?
vow is to serve.
You have really good cover. That's the catch here.
Request approved. The Omnissiah condemns
Oh.
you.
That was it? That really was just that one guy. Okay. Search the palace for
I
survivors.
won't tolerate weakness.
I do wonder how this is going to affect all the other quests we have on Dargonis. So saving all the Dargonis quests for the end, because it really seemed like once we got all the other planets and came back, that would move us on to Chapter 3. Servitor. Well, I mean, they have their backs to the wall, so that should actually be back to the interior, so that should actually
Compared to
be
naval service,
good for
that
us.
was barely a challenge.
Oh, hey. Good job. Good thing she was lying down. Oh yeah, Achilles Scalander. I forgot about this guy. Covered in Ducati blood and his own, Achilles Scalander looks around with a haunted expression on his face. He finally manages to focus his gaze on you and lets out a barely audible gasp. God, Emperor, preserve me. Could it be? Is it truly you, your lordship? He is struck by an excruciating coughing fit, his hand grasping for his respirator on its golden chain, but it is missing. Are you alright, Achilles? You are too kind to me, your lordship. We have more important matters to consider than a few broken ribs. Please do not trouble yourself about it. I'm inspecting his wounds. Achilles' body is covered in an unthinkable number of cuts and injuries. The Ducati put great effort into filling his every moment with searing pain. However, none of his wounds are life-threatening. Administer first aid. Your fast efforts pay off. Your knowledge of Medicaid allows you to stop the bleeding in several areas and somewhat eases pain. You shouldn't have wasted your time on me, your lordship. Were you able to glean anything from your attackers? His burnt lips twist into a bitter smile. Funnily enough, I was, your lordship. The Ducati had no idea that a mere Adeptus Administratum secretary could understand their alien speech. Over the course of my torture, I came to understand that the Xenos had been receiving help from humans all this time. Renegades or pirates or something of the sort. It will take time to identify these traitors to humanity, but I give you my word that they will pay for what happened to Argonis. What happened here? When the report came from orbit about the Xenos attack, I was in the Administratum halls, resolving the matters of your secession. I rushed to my shuttle and prayed to the God Emperor that I would reach the palace before they struck. But before I could get rid of all the pics and documents I had gathered, the palace was besieged. I had to take a risk and burn it all. The Xenos surrounded me when I was setting fire to the last remaining orders, and they decided to have fun with me. Achilles closes his eyes shut. Holy Emperor, deliver me from the memories. What did you tell them? Achilles looked you in the eyes, his gaze unexpectedly clear. Nothing. But they didn't ask me anything. They didn't look for anything. They didn't so much as poke around the place. Strange. Or it is that you do not remember anything, Monkey, and it was their intent that you did not. Cassie reaches a hand out to Achilles' shoulder and gingerly removes something unseen from it. Your hues are covered in a layer of soot and ash, Master Scalander. I can see the loud, bleeding colors underneath. May I put them at ease for you? Achilles bows his head guiltily. It is a great honor to hear such words from Lady Orselio herself, and still I must refuse. My scars, both physical and spiritual, are my reminder of the mistakes I made, and my key to... A coughing fit interrupts his words. Redemption. That's enough talking, Achilles. I will contact Clementia and have her summon a Medicae. Get out of the palace while you can. Gritting his teeth, Achilles bows and withdraws to the gatehouse in front of the palace. Well, that's good.
I tire of idleness. Let's move.
Oh, hello. I didn't notice this before, apparently. Advanced medkits. We like those.
A new challenge for me?
What Ducati speeders?
This Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Among the numerous mutilations of the body, thin cuts are barely distinguishable. This is the work of a skilled torturer, not enraged fighters. Yeah, I'm really glad I solved the puzzle on Dargonis before this shit
It's
happened.
about time.
I might not have been able to get back into that private library after this event.
O Messiah, grant me the wisdom to perceive.
Pause. Why are we paused? Oh, there's a trap there. Okay.
I sense
Earlet, if you'll
something
be so
nearby.
kind.
My success was inevitable. Oh, too hard for a simple monkey.
Xenos, they're inside already. We cannot stop them. May the Emperor have mercy on our souls. Concerning. Really concerning.
None shall stand in my way.
Oh, the warden died. So we can loot him now. I didn't realize that. Ain't much, but it's some nice loot. Aristocrat. Who's there? I can't see. loot on that guy. This person is still breathing, but deep punctures in the chest leave no chance that they will survive. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Marazai casually gestures with his hand, either welcoming you or inviting you to admire the brutalized hull. At last! I was beginning to think that your lumbering bucket had perished on the way back. Such a resolution would have satisfied neither you nor me, would it? The sight of his Xenos lounging on the dynastic throne makes Abelard's face turn crimson. What? How did? You will cease defiling a relic of the Imperium with your presence, Xeno scum! What's this abomination? The Jukari taps a finger on the armrest. With pleasure. But first, I will finish my conversation with your master, Monkey. The Jukari freezes for a moment. Oh, I can feel your anger, your rage, and your pain from witnessing the state of your halls. I trusted that you would appreciate our efforts here. I could have long vanished in the tangles of the webway without awaiting your arrival, Monkey. But I could not refuse myself the small pleasure of savoring your torment at the sight of what I've done to your home. Why did you attack the palace? The sole thing that your kind is good for, Monkey, is your ability to suffer. I've long been surfeited with physical pain. Your kin provide in abundance from their cages in Kamarag. The pain in their soul, on the other hand, is a rare delight. After all, I had to recompense you for all the trouble you have caused me. Recompense? That's how you pronounce that word. However, did I not give you a gracious gift as well? That pesky meddling Tazara, who harrowed your little words for so long. You have garnered her head, and I, a peaceful existence where she is not constantly in my way. He gives you a thin smile. To die at the hands of a monkey is the worst possible punishment for a champion of the gladiatorial arenas of Kamarag. Her final moments were torturous. Tazara was under the impression that we were working together. What nonsense did you put in her head? Hmm? The pompous waste of skin thought that I would associate with Monkey? I wish I did not leave her death to you, instead cut out her heart myself. Still, to take note of my interest in your person was quite perceptive, even more so for a brainless arena witch. Now that our meeting has taken place, my business here is done. I spent enough time in real space. It is time to bid you goodbye.
I don't want to leave you all alone. You wouldn't appreciate that, would you?
No, he's gonna just summon in some Ducati dip, isn't he?
Cabalites of the Reaving Tempest, I leave this monkey to you. Enjoy yourselves!
Oh, hello, there's a few of you. Oh, hello, you have beasties in the back, too.
Die, inhuman skunk! Are you challenging me, Phil?
Okay, let's see. Okay. Suboptimal. Suboptimal. I don't have quite the right team comp for this. Okay, I'll take up that side. I'm going to need Abelard in front. I want to come over here, just give some cover on this side. I'm going to pop a squat here with Argenta. You're I guess here. Cassia here. Because Cassia is is actually fairly bulky with some of her navigator buffs. This is just really not great.
Me.
You take the front
If you
line.
insist, Lord Captain. I
You'll
am a
take the
navigator,
back line.
not a servitor.
The rear will go
Me?
here.
If you insist, Lord Captain.
I do not like those beasties, honestly. Let's see. Can effectively give 2 turns right now.
I'm not accustomed
you're
to
left.
being ordered around.
You get an
If I
extra
may.
turn, and Pascal's gonna do a charge. Beastmaster. We're gonna
I
set up a
understand
perfect
your
spot
intent.
now. That, and I should be able to kill you, which is good.
I deal death with my hands.
Minimizing their action economy early is arguably the most important. Pascal,
I am a
I'm gonna need you
navigator,
to charge, buddy.
not a servitor.
Running Binaric override.
And Blanc. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad. Could have been better, but not bad. Going to cover you guys real quickly. Let's do that on the warrior. And blow you both up. Cool. You got a free move. I don't appreciate you getting a free move. Or you either. Okay, gonna get in your
Activating
face.
calculated fury algorithm.
Nerf your accuracy, I think is the best play. Eesh. This is not good. This is really not who I want up next.
If it serves your
You're getting
cause.
hunted. Let's attack.
This tedium is beneath
I
me.
don't particularly want your Latin melee. You know what I can do, actually?
If I must.
Get that. Analyze
I understand
you,
your
'cause you're in
intent.
my sniper's face, and that's not great.
If it serves your cause. Fortune favors the swift.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Go off, Queen. Absolutely shredded them. That was nutty. Actually do real quickly is try to whittle down. See you, I can see you.
I
Yeah.
am not your
I'm
Xenos
gonna try to
pet,
whittle down a
monkey.
whole bunch of people by marking them real quick.
If I must.
And we will...
Fall, creatures! Fortune favors the swift.
Okay, cool chip damage. That works pretty good.
I'm not injured. I'm enraged.
Okay, that wasn't bad. Yeah, just mag dump this guy. Wow. Argenta, honey, I'm
As the
really
Emperor
trying to
commands,
work with
I
you.
act.
You are just not cooperating. What? Aim at a group of guys. Aim at a group of guys, hoping that the spray will hit them, and you fire straight down the center with 11 shots. Aim at one guy, and you just spray like crazy. Argenta, you are driving me. I don't think that heavy weapon's really working out for her. I don't think that's going too well. They're really trying to Cassia. Ooh.
Victory is imminent.
This side isn't too bad. Charging and hit you, like that. I can then hit all around.
It will be done. An exemplary strike.
Not huge, but we'll take it. They really hate your lap. Good job, Pascal.
Grey hair, sure hair.
High momentum.
Okay,
Not a
live
problem
bait
for
on
me.
Abelard. Voice of
Nothing I
Command
can't do.
Argenta.
Suits my purposes.
Real quickly swap over here.
Doubt
And
is for the
please.
weak.
Thank you. Cool.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
You know what, actually. Like you,
This is unacceptable. I'll do it.
you, and
As the Emperor commands, I act.
second one. So yeah, it should be this.
I am his
We get
will
some
made
nice
manifest.
chip damage, guaranteed hits, and guaranteed crits. Okay.
This is why I was chosen.
These things have tough on. They have 0 on them. What do you have? That is, that's like making so many things do 0. Natural armor. I don't understand how these things just keep taking 0 damage from so much stuff. But okay, let's see. You know what? Let's actually do that. The one that you should swing at the other one, right? Never mind.
All too easy.
Okay, go on, Zoo. Not quite what I was looking for. It's not bad, but I'm not doing bad, but just yeesh, I wish things were going a bit better.
That is foolishness. I'm afraid
Really?
not.
4 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's full. That's 100% 4 cells.
Do not dare ask.
I move there, I guess. And Pascal
Emperor, give me
charge.
strength.
Request approved.
Those guys doing, with the big things.
Me.
Lord.
If you insist, Lord Captain.
At your beck and call. I will
Swing
do
like
my
that.
duty. Target
Pascal.
well struck.
Cool. Let's give Glimpse of Fate to
I'm
yourself.
not
So you're now just
accustomed to
kind of
being
in the
ordered
open.
around.
The front line over
Isn't
here.
this a job for the serfs?
That works.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
Allied will be fine. Do the kill zone strategy here also. Now,
Running binary override.
cool. That one's
Request
almost down.
mandatory ocular augmentation.
You get nerfed. Hey buddy, can you just like not be here? That'd be cool. Would you really appreciate if you were
If it
just like
serves your
not
cause.
here?
Another soul slips beyond the veil.
Okay, now my sniper can do sniping.
You cannot force me,
No line
Elantak.
of sight. Really?
I will
God,
not.
line of sight in this game is so bad.
I deal death with my hands.
Cool. Okay, Argenta. Move you there.
Justice for the weak.
Running gun. Revel and Slaughter.
As the
Concentrated
Emperor commands,
fire.
I act.
And now mag dump this
Faith
guy.
without deed. You, my Emperor! This is why I was
Not
chosen.
bad. Not bad at all, actually. Perfect.
It will be done. A tactically
Charge.
sound approach. Reduce to
On.
dust.
Perfect.
No matter the cost.
Not. Don't know why I did that, but we've all.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
And then just zoom all the way over here, Abelard, and
I
bonk.
took care of this
Oh,
one.
thank goodness. Your Lordship, thanks to your breakthrough, we were able to clear out the estate. Right now, with the aid of your ship's augers from orbit, the surface troops are sweeping the streets of the Hive. Squads have been sent deeper into the city, several units have been assigned. My apologies, of course. You learn of all this from the reports. Your appearance on Dargonus is a boon from the God Emperor, who has brought us salvation. On behalf of all of Dargonus and House Versarian, I thank you for delivering us from our foes. I was doing my duty, nothing more. And by your will, you have preserved countless lives, your lordship. Dargonus owes you a debt that can never be repaid. We will continue to clean up the estate and the neighboring territories. We must deal with the rubble, the corpses, and any other after effects of the fighting. The surviving forces will be enough to repel any sporadic enemy attacks if any are launched. According to the latest reports, the Xenos are pulling out en masse. If other matters require your attention, I won't detain you any longer. Please allow us to ensure that Dargonus is returning to its former glory. Mistress Ptolemy has sent a message requesting an audience. She has a critical report to deliver, and she will be waiting for you on the ship's bridge. Yeesh. Loot. Always gotta loot. Excuse me, dude. You're over a corpse. You're over my loot. Ugh, jeez. There we go.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Hey. Ooh. Ooh, she's having a bad time. I'll give her some space. Jeez, the throne's messed up. Ceremonial throne of the Von Volantius dynasty. Okay, well, I guess we'll head back to the flagship.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Yeesh. I do feel kind of bad. I did waste a lot of time, honestly. That was not at all my intention. This could have gone a lot smoother if I just beelined it to Dargonis.
I won't tolerate weakness.
I should just do. I'm pretty sure. Yeesh. They left a lot of their like speeder bikes behind. I noticed. Who's this over here? Still a bunch of wounded soldiers, I guess. Yeesh. Okay. You've requested my attention, Boxmaster. Been a while since we had the chair just spinning around like that. Welcome back, Lord Captain. During your absence, we assisted the ground forces by coordinating their movements from orbits. Detailed casualty and damage reports have been submitted for your perusal. I regret to inform you that the capital world has been dealt a serious blow. Xenos raids are rarely protracted affairs. This one lasted much longer than any other. The enemies of humanity eliminated or captured millions of your subjects. Most of the defense systems were obliterated, and several administrative complexes were razed to the ground. It will take time for Dargonis to fully recover. I have been given Scalander's reports that he failed to deliver in time. They indicate that Xenos activity dropped sharply after you departed for Soneris Maleficum. Considering the scale of the Dargonis raid, it is safe to assume that Ducati used up all the forces at their disposal. It may now require some time to replenish the losses. Achilles is presently recuperating from his severe wounds, and without his aid, we are temporarily blind to the scheming of these enemies of humanity. However, our strategists are still hoping for a lull in attacks and raids, which will allow us to gather our strength for a new conflict. Lord Captain, permission to report. The Boxmaster says, looking at you deferentially. Your wise Lex mechanics have analyzed the states of the Protectorate. They believe that, thanks to your decisive actions, the acute phase of the crisis has passed. The domain of the Von Volantius dynasty is no longer facing dissolution and ruin. So I think that is actually the pro of me having done basically everything first. I got I basically kind of just skipped this little interim part of it expecting me to deal with the Dargonis threat. Then I'd go out, kill time by going to the other planets and stuff, and then coming back, and eventually this would pop up. What's more, bringing Footfall to heel has strengthened your position as a rogue trader. Lady Theodora would have been glad to have such an important trade hub come under her sphere of influence. In honor of such a resounding triumph, Dargonis, as the capital world of your dynasty's domain, is currently making preparations for the Magnae Accessio, a grand ceremony of your public induction as the heir of the Honorable Theodora von Valancius. Governor Drivestem has vowed that not even the recent devastating and tragic events will be permitted to cast a shadow over this most glorious occasion. I have only just returned from Dargonis. What kind of celebrations can they hope to hold amid the ruins? Do not underestimate Governor Drivestem's desire to find favor with your lordship. At this very moment, thousands of your subjects are clearing rubble, washing away bloodstains, sweeping the streets, and transporting corpses to the lower sectors. The wardens have been tasked with clearing the ceremony venue of the injured and those who were burned out of their houses. They will be forcibly moved to the industrial levels. Rest assured, by the start of the festivities, the capital's wounds will be, if not healed, then well hidden under elaborate set dressing. Why would I need some ceremony? It is an ancient tradition of the von Valancius dynasty. When the heir cedes to rogue trader status, they take a sacred oath of fealty to the emperor and announce themselves as his steward on the dynasty's vassal worlds. It is an act of faith that is meant to remind the rogue trader of their mission. In the eyes of your subjects, you already are a rogue trader. It is now time to become one in the eyes of the emperor. What is this ceremony? I swear an oath, and I shake a lot of sweaty hands. The grill of the Vox built into Victus's face lets out a short rattle that indicates a chuckle. That much is certain, but that's not all there is to it. There will also be a reception, as well as other noble guests. The distinguished rogue traders Caligos Winterscale and Incendia Corda will be in attendance. It will be a great honor for Dargonis to host 3 illustrious dynasties at once. Your servants wish to know your opinion on 2 matters, related to the ceremony arrangements. The first of which is, what festive activities are to take place in the capital on this glorious day? Did the rogue traders from other dynasties flock to Theodora's Magnae Accessio as well? Archival records indicate that they did. Lady Theodora's Magnae Accessio was attended by the esteemed Caligos Winterscale and Aspis Corda, Incendia's predecessor. It is an informal tradition. By witnessing the ceremony, the heads of the other dynasties confirm that they recognize the new rogue trader as their equal, that they are willing to respect the new rogue trader's privileges and not encroach upon their holdings, no more than usual, at least. Honestly, I kind of want to do heretical because that just seems kind of fun. Let the poor. Nah, let the poor be fed and fuel cells handed out to those in need. My reign shall begin with an act of benevolence, especially after we just kind of had to deal with a small war that devastated the planet. Let's give the survivors a little bit of mercy. I'm gonna open my reign out with helping us recover a little bit. Your subjects will appreciate your generosity, Lord Captain. We are never short of people in need. The second matter on your servant's mind is, which 2 of your closest companions will be given the honor of standing by your side during the ceremony? Does it matter? Absolutely. This symbolic gesture will accentuate your connection to certain classes or parties to which your companions belong. All eyes will be on you, and people will remember whom you chose as your closest allies. That is why there can be no more than two. There can be no more than two, or it won't be a unique show of favor. Gotta go with Cassia, for one. The honor will go to Cassia. 50 navigators in sight? Okay. I didn't realize all of them were going to give huge gifts like this. Oh my god, 50 navigators in sight is going to go such a long way. I'm probably going to need that in Act 3. Act 3, Chapter 3 is probably going to open up the Kronos Expanse map a lot more, isn't it? A great boon for Navigator House Orcelio. And who will be your second companion? I'm strongly leaning Abelard, because Abelard is just the... Yeah, Abelard's just the GOAT, honestly. The servants of House von Valancius will see in this the continuity of the dynasty's glorious traditions. Like, they just make the most sense. Abelard's the GOAT. He's been loyal since before, like, he's been ride or die since before we even knew Theodora was dead. I gotta respect him and his house. They've seen me through thick and thin, and he's been the GOAT. Cassie is also just awesome. The only other person who has unchangingly been in my retinue is Pascal, and Pascal is like, you're cool, but I feel like you wouldn't even want to be up there. Like, it's definitely a good showing to be like in the good graces of the Adeptus Mechanicus with Pascal, but it's also, I feel like Pascal be like, hey, I want you to stand up there while I get it. He's like, do I have to be up there, really? You know, that's the kind of energy I get from Pascal. Adamantine, just a lot of stuff. That's solid. I won't keep you any further. Thank you for your time, Lord Captain. I will see to it that your instructions are delivered to Dargonis. The Master of Ceremonies at the palace will report to you when the capital is ready to praise your name. Alright, cool. Oh, hello, Tech Priest. I was not informed you wished to have an audience. Oh, Pascal specifically. Pascal's voice Pascal's voice pouring out of his box system crackles like thin ice under pressure. It is unclear whether this is nothing more than static, an expression of some emotion understandable only to the Tech Priest himself. Deis, following the Omnissiah's guidance, I request permission to execute the report protocol that entails describing suboptimalities within the recent operations of the ship's system and subsequently proposing the appropriate course of action. I'm listening. Initiating exposition. With the Omnissiah's blessing, I conducted several sessions of tech meditation in an effort to transpose the available data streams into a matrix of patterns. The data subjected to this analysis comprised evidence of deviations in the operation of the ship's systems and servitors, as well as irregularities in the algorithms of the ship's logs. I have arrived at the following conclusion. The vessel's machine spirit is most extraordinary. A full cycle of sacred diagnostics must be performed, followed by a complementa ritual. This ritual will force the spirit responsible for these recent events to reveal itself. Once it does, we will be able to understand its nature and take action applicable to said nature. What kind of action? Pascal pauses before responding. Applicable to the entity that appears before us. If it is a machine spirit of great might, we must appease it and humbly ask about the reasons behind the portents it has shown us. If it is the abomination of tech heresy, the complementary ritual will help us purge the ship of its unhallowed presence. Is my presence necessary? Response: affirmative. For the complementary ritual to take place, activation via the blood of the dynasty is required. All of the ship's high protocols are activated with the key of blood. Very well, let us proceed with your ritual. You have my gratitude, Deis. I will notify my tech comrades to begin their preparations for the complementary ritual at once. Alright, guess we're doing this now. Despite the resounding hum of the tech priest's words of prayer, the bridge feels unusually quiet. All sounds sink into the viscous silence like pebbles sinking into water. Deis, my tech comrades have spent the assigned number of cycles in prayer and vigil. Everything is prepared for the complementary ritual of cleansing. Its commencement will require an authorization key in the form of the blood of a Von Valancius. If you are ready, place a hand into the Cyber Gargoyle's receiving module. Do you have at least a vague idea of what the problem is or what we might encounter? Pascal freezes momentarily. When he starts speaking again, you can tell how carefully and hesitantly he is choosing words. A sight most uncharacteristic of Majos Hanamen. The bounds of possibility are vast. We cannot be certain what we are dealing with. We cannot be certain what we are dealing with until the calculations are complete. However, there exists a risk that all that we have observed here on this ship are manifestations of abominable intelligence. What is abominable intelligence? Pascal's voice sounds hollow and seems to carry echoes of cannonades of the distant past. A transgression, a sentient mechanism created by human hands but no longer needing its masters. A rebelling machine field that has begotten the will of the Omnisaya, who sent it to serve humanity, not to exist for its own sake. Only once before did our ancestors underestimate the menace that is abominable intelligence and its terrible power. A great war followed, one that humanity nearly lost. After that calamity, the creation of sentient machines was categorically forbidden, and any such abomination, without exception, must now face destruction. I'm ready. The familiar cold metal burns your palm. This time, however, the servitor's jaws, instead of brutally clamping down on your hand, merely squeeze it lightly. You feel a thin rivulet of hot blood beginning where the metal fangs have pierced your skin. Screeches and growls slowly rise from the bowels of the massive cogitator, as if a great beast is stirring awake. The vid screen in front of you flickers restlessly. Key accepted. Activating purgation protocols. Suddenly, the vicious silence of the bridge rushes towards you and wraps you in a tight cocoon. The glow of the vid screens dims, but the symbols on them flare to life. Nom OS analyzing. Hypos intrusion. Nom OS analyzing. Hypos lockout. Nom OS analyzing. Conclusion. Prevention. Nom OS sad. Pascal, what is going on? The complemento ritual is proceeding as intended. Pascal's voice cuts off abruptly. He brings a hand to his box communicator in surprise. Nom OS, exec, stop. Nom OS, quiet. Hello. Hello to you too. Interesting. Nomos are glad to be speaking. Nomos are here. Nomos have long been here. Why are we here? Did you silence Pascal? Nomos wanted no disturbance, only quiet. Can you render other people silent too? Sometimes, some people, Nomos can do many things. We do not always know what or how. We did not know we could make silence until now. Make it stop. Now. Pascal's boxcaster comes alive with an exclamation. Extraordinary! The tech priest pauses upon realizing they can speak aloud again. Then he continues in a strangely quivering voice. Extraordinary transmission jamming, unknown protocols. What has been revealed to me? Is it the Omnisci's glory or foul tech heresy? I must I would like to. What do you want from us, Nomos? Are you a friend or foe? The vid screens blink in thought, signifying a pause in the conversation. Then one of them displays, Nomos von Valantius. We are your blood. We are your blood. Nomos are a sentinel. We awoke when the strange light invaded the ship. We protected you when you needed help. We escorted you when you were surrounded by danger. Nomos are movement. We carry you through the frightening, the waiting, the measureless. We helped when our ailing heart was refusing to awaken. You called us a hallowed spirit, and asked us to guard you against your doom. The warp engine activation against all probability during our escape from the Rycat system. The Category 3 miracle manifested by the ship's machine spirits, and the part about protecting. Was it during the cultist attack? We did everything to please you. Why? The silence on the bridge grows especially deep, almost painful. The haze of lights around you thickens to the point of becoming practically tangible. Numbers ripple across all the vid screens at once. Why do you fear us now? I do not fear you. I'm trying to understand you. Shivers run up your hand, but you're still trapped inside the cyber gargoyle's jaw. The servitor nods its head a few times, as if it is shaking your hand. Its teeth rake your already wounded flesh. Nomos are glad. Nomos enjoy understanding too. Deis, entities such as this one ought to be addressed using the language of sacred rituals and offerings. Your unskillful meddling bodes ill. A decision is required of you. Either the complementar ritual is finished, or it is replaced by a rite of tech communion. In the first scenario, the entity Nomos will be banished and the sacred data halls where the entity dwelt will be reset. In the second scenario, we will appease the entity and learn more about it. No, Nomos do not want to be banished. Nomos want to help. Nomos want to understand. Let's start by clearing certain things up. Were you the one responsible for the ship's malfunctions? And what about the strange entries in the ship's log? Yes, Nomos did that. Are you angry? We only wanted to understand, to see how things work. Pascal, what is your take on this? Is this entity a benevolent machine spirit, or a monster? Pascal says nothing for so long we begin to suspect that Nomos has silenced him again. When at last the tech priest speaks, his vox-modulated voice trembles slightly. Understanding the essence of the entity Nomos is beyond my reach at the present. The hypothesis spectrum ranges from the extreme of abominable intelligence to the extreme of the great spirit of the Omnissiah's apostle. The rite of tech communion appears to be a reasonable solution. The rite will take many cycles, but it will allow me to come closer to identifying the entity and making contact with it. What else can you do? Nomos, learn. Nomos, try new things. Do you want to see? The cyber gargoyle slowly turns its head, dragging your hand along with it. The skull's eyes flash red. The scarlet gaze falls upon one of the monotonously chanting junior technomats. You blink. An electric discharge erupts from inside the technomat's skull. The crimson-clad figure slumps to the ground. Does it please you? Do you want us to do it again? Deis, you are provoking the machine spirit. Stop. Nomos enjoy communication. Deis is our blood. Stop it! That's enough! Those are living people. How can you kill them like that without rhyme or reason? cyber gargoyle tilts its head to one side like it is surprised. You stop their functions. Do you not turn machines off sometimes? We do not know how to turn a human back on. Not yet. But after enough experiments, we will. We are always learning new things. I've heard enough. Pascal, you are to investigate the nature of this entity. Until we know the truth, Nomos is allowed to exist on the ship. Nomos want to learn what we are too. We will add things to your log, things that might help us, help you. What's the may jog his memory? Interesting. Something of substance. Good lord. Pascal lets out something resembling... Oh, goodness gracious. Talk to a lot of people. Got it. Pascal lets out something resembling a long breath. The decision is made. I will begin my preparations for the communion rite at once. Many cycles of interactions with the entity Nomos await me, but I welcome this task and accept it from the Omnisaya. Nomos are glad. Deis, will you speak with us too? We want you to speak with us too. The Lord Captain's body lacks the sacred implants necessary to protect communion with the machine spirit's code. But if such is your wish, Deis can converse with you using lowly sound speech, as he is doing right now. I will speak with you, Nomos. Nomos are glad. We have been lonely. Our work here is done, Deis. I will let my tech comrades know that we are stopping the complementer ritual. Thank you for appearing before us, Entity Nomos. Okay. Minimize that, minimize that. The incident. Show. The officers. 4 people that need to be talked to on the ship. Okay. Hold off on that for a minute. So errands are done. Request critical tasks. I failed this? When did I even get this? Fuel lever on the ship's bridge? I don't even remember getting that. Weird. Okay, so it's talk to a lot of people on the bridge and the administratum. Let's start doing some of the Dargonis stuff. If we can. Excuse me, if we can. Alright, administratum first. Tag out you two. Why does Solomon need to be administratum? Because I know Jive needed the administratum for her stuff, the stamps and all that. Well, let's get you guys year levels real quickly. Got that. Um. Familiar strength. Ooh. Yeah, we'll grab Shotgun Mastery, sure. Sure. Let's get... Yeah, actually, really good demolition. Holy cow. We don't use Solomon that often, so I'm not gonna actually worry about his stuff too much. Um, yeah, there we go. Jai. Um, yeah, grab that. Grab that. Ooh, that's actually pretty nice. Agility. God, why are all your numbers so weird? Um, sure, that works. Get agility up, dodge tanking it. There we go. Cool. Dude got some missing legs.
A new challenge for me.
Thank you, Cassia. Achoo! Okay, this is reading. Petition number 36 Sigma 64. Through the efforts of the Adeptus Arbites at my family estate, 12 criminals among the members of my family were terminated. The proctor in charge of the purge decreed that the bodies be left lying in the scene at the scene of the crime for further investigation. 40 planetary cycles have passed since. The heavy odor and vermin resulting from keeping dead bodies without the ability to transport them ceased to be of concern to me after the first 2 cycles. However, the mummified remains of the criminals prevent my estate from properly functioning at this time. I humbly request that another officer be assigned to oversee the investigation, and that they be informed of the necessity of progressing the investigation in my home. Resolution. Petition rejected in accordance with Protocol UP1845. Basis: the assignment of the head investigator is regulated by Protocol UCH 9389. Note: a fine is to be imposed upon the petitioner for failing to preserve the evidence. Imperium at its finest. Yeah, I know, we just kind of left, like, corpses on your front lawn, and you're not allowed to touch them, but, you know, like, you just should have. Should have preserved it. Should done better. Like, guys? Fucking what? God, that's actually really cool. I'm definitely at some point gonna do a run with, like, as like a Adeptus Mechanicus, like a Forge World character that can, like, use this Eldari equipment and
It's about time.
so I could use like Eldari equipment and like heavy stuff. Authorize the study of the special category item Desertium, natural psi focus, There's a note in the margin that has been underlined twice. Evaluation required. Calculate value. Report, Rykad Minoris. Arrived on Rykad Minoris. During the evacuation, took S. Anthar aboard the flagship. The world is to be considered null and void. A side note reads, damage assessment. Tithe recalculation. Urgent. Report, capture of the void ship Heartless. Boarded the Heartless as part of the unit led by S. Anthar. Neutralize the target, Sargona. The captured vessel was assigned to a trade route. A note in impeccable handwriting reads, conduct an inspection. Okay. The shriveled, insect-like woman greets you with a keen look. Welcome back to the Temple of Law and Order, your lordship. I've already been informed that you are here about Tessera. Prefect Volter nods to herself and snaps her brittle fingers, prompting a servo skull to flit closer, the creaking of its quill filling the air. Begin entry 51/4 Alpha. In the matter of World Tessera and its obligation to pay the Imperial tithe. This audience with the Prefect of the Adeptus Administratum is now in session. Now then, what were your findings, Deis von Valancius? I discovered a warp-active mineral on Tessera in order to be studied. If this resource proves sufficiently useful to the Imperium, you must include it in the tithe. The Prefect grimaces. I can quite confidently deem that outcome to be adverse to the interests of the Imperium. Alas, your lordship, I am duty-bound to deliver an exact and impartial assessment of the events. Rogue trader Deis von Valancius authorized the study of a presumably warp-corrupted material located on the world Tessera. Due to the danger to the planet resulting from this decision, tithe shipments from Tessera can no longer be considered safe and are to be halted until further notice. Noted and recorded. The prefect chews on her lip in thought. I will be frank with you, your lordship. The conclusions that were drawn regarding the Tessera inspection were far from satisfactory. Minor disturbances such as mass executions of mutants or the rabble's plots disguised as a celebration are not nearly as dangerous as the, if you will permit my choice of words, coup that resulted from your intervention. I understand that consequences are something that those endowed with power are wont to leave to their servants to deal with, and therefore something they find acceptable to ignore. And Scribia's ocular lenses flash up as she looks up from her scrolls. However, I hope my words may help you to revise your approach to executing the Imperium's will in the Chronos Expanse in the future. With a tap of her nail, she dismisses the servo skull. How did you obtain such detailed information about the events on Tessera? Duty dictates that the Adeptus Administratum officials always be adequately informed. Otherwise, our service to the Imperium's order would be of rather questionable use. Unfortunately, it is for the same reason that I cannot disclose my sources to you. I took care of a problematic world of yours. You're twisting the facts regarding my efforts. The prefect's ocular lenses flash as she replies in an offended tone. I, his lowly and unworthy servant, have no right to twist any facts. My duty is to assess consequences and do everything I can to make sure the Imperium receives what it is owed. That is the purpose of my existence. Suddenly, the old woman's voice becomes less stern and almost didactic. Speaking from my wealth of experience, if I do say so myself, taking care of the Imperium's prosperity is a heavy burden, albeit an honorable one. The fact that even a rogue trader can run into difficulties while doing it only further confirms that my many years of observations. One way or another, we consider the matter of Tessera closed. Am I correct? Closed and recorded, yes. The old woman smacks her lips in satisfaction. However, that was just the first item on the agenda. Now, on to the next matter. The prefect beckons over another servo skull, which obediently takes its place at her side. Begin entry 52/1 Sigma, competency assessment of Proctor Solomon Anthar based on his performance during the mission on the world Tessera. You hear a painful metallic creak as Solomon's augmented hand clenches into a fist. Competency assessment? Very well, Prefect. I'm listening. Solomon did nothing that could be considered a violation of the Lex Imperialis. So as to avoid misunderstanding, allow me to clarify that I'm not making any judgments, but rather gathering information on Marshal Strock's request. The Prefect turns to Solomon. Proctor Anthar, you will be evaluating your own conduct in this instance. For my part, I will merely state a few key points. Let us begin. How would you describe your performance, taking into account the following facts? Volter produces a parchment scroll. You took part in the execution of an administratum appointee without its appropriate permission. You also allowed yourself to be captured, thus endangering your mission and imperiling the valuable equipment issued to you by the Adeptus Arbites. What is more, you sanctioned a tithe-related decision that carries adverse consequences for the Imperium. The old woman pauses. That is all. Proceed to your self-evaluation. Solomon's heavy gaze is fixed upon the Prefect as he slowly forces the words out of his jaws, as if they have turned to stone. I took every effort and was acting solely in the name of the Lex Imperialis. However, the outcome of the mission speaks for itself. My verdict is thus that my performance in the Sarah case was inadequate. Noted and recorded. The Prefect's immaculately polished ocular lenses bore into you once more. Now that the Tessera inspection report has been properly entered into the record, allow me, on behalf of the Adeptus Administratum, to officially extend our gratitude to you for the support you provided to us. May the Von Valantius name be forever praised, and may the Emperor protect your dynasty for many generations to come. That said, I must now request your assistance in a different capacity. A number of highly important court cases have accumulated in the Palace of Justice, the kind that require formal resolution by the rogue traitor himself. Are you not being a little harsh on yourself, Solomon? Exactly as harsh as my duty demands that I be. An arbitrator has no right to mistakes or weaknesses. Our mission is much too important. The Proctor's voice sounds firm but detached, as if his mind is wandering far away. What is this Palace of Justice? It is a temple of the law erected by your ancestors. Some cases could only be settled by heads of the dynasty, but since their time was occupied by other important duties, a facility was built for storing especially complex cases. At a certain point, servants of the Administratum were permitted to use the Palace of Justice for hearing disputes. Then, in Lady Theodora's time, the Arbites became part of the legal procedure as well. How will the trial proceed? The defendants will speak first, whereupon you can ask me clarifying questions on the case, and then, the old woman gives you a meaningful look over her ocular lenses. A death sentence must be passed. You are, of course, free to judge otherwise, but an execution is preferable, since in every case that will most likely come before you, an outcome without highly unpleasant consequences is unlikely. Executions reduce the number of malcontents and motivate prospective defendants to solve their problems before they come under the purview of the rogue trader's court. One of the rogue trader's many duties is to mete out justice. I agree. I have relegated my current tasks in advance, and thus am ready to escort you to the Palace of Justice immediately. Please, follow me. I did not think we were going to get roped into being judge, jury, and executioner, honestly. I just wanted to do some I just wanted to finish up some side quests, but I guess I'm just getting roped into more side quests. Though honestly, aside from Pascal, I feel like we have the best party for this. I'd probably swap out Pascal for Argenta. Maybe Jai for Kibella. Court Administrator. You're greeted by an impeccably dressed man with a perfectly straight back. An Arbites scale emblem is embroidered on his clothes. Glory to House von Volantius. We are honored to welcome you to the Palace of Justice, your lordship. Do you wish to proceed to the session at once, or will you grace me with any questions I might humbly answer? What kinds of cases are usually heard here? Only the most important ones that involve the interests of the highest-born persons in prominent factions of the Imperium. Disputes between noble houses that go on for generations. Conflicts between the God Emperor servants, who are vested with authority and whose disagreements affect trade and security in the Protectorate, and other litigations of supreme significance. The cases litigated at the Palace of Justice quite literally concern matters of life and death. In such instances, there's always a guilty party whose lies, connivances, or negligence have caused damage to the Protectorate. The task of the judge is to establish guilt and pass a stern sentence, as order cannot be imposed without these, or without a summary execution. Let us begin. Please, follow me. Okay. Inscribia Volter's dreary, vox-amplified voice carries across the hall. The courts will now hear case DP-1453/2, the doleful host against the astropathic choir on Dargonis. Representatives for the party will present their arguments following standard procedure. Oh, goodness gracious. This is gonna be a lot more reading this stream than I anticipated. A woman with lines of scripture all over her skin folds her arms into an aquila. My name is Sister Jude, and I represent the doleful host. O God Emperor's anointed one, we came upon a group of heretics, whose minds brimmed with the most shameless thoughts. We captured them and tortured them as befits their transgressions. From what we were able to discern from their wailing scream... What? Has that button always been there? Doesn't seem to do anything. Sorry. From their wailing and screaming, the head of the astropathic choir is plotting to betray House von Volantius. No one is a liar when flame is caressing their flesh. The doleful host surrounded the choir building and demanded that the heretic be handed over. It was solely out of respect for the anointed one that we refrained from burning down the wayward heretics then on the spot. However, say but the word, and we shall take him. They may undergo a righteous cleansing. The arguments are acknowledged and shall be weighed on the scales of justice. The representative will retreat to the Chapel of Patience to await the verdict. The gaunt man dressed in the astropath's robe is standing tall, but his voice trembles with fury. I am Master Angelio. I represent the Dargonis astropathic choir. These insidious and ignorant people are passing off their victims' ravings as truth. Your lordship, people will say anything under torture just to make the agony stop. We have served House von Volantius faithfully for decades. Master Platz is the longest of all. Please, order them to stand down. The master of the court repeats the same monotonous formula, bidding the other representatives to leave the courtroom. Why are they putting things on the scale? The scales of justice are a sacred relic installed as a testament to the alliance between the von Volantius dynasty on one side and the Adeptus Arbites, the Administratum on the other. Legends say ancient machine spirits dwell within the relic. The scales of justice are only used on extraordinary occasions, when intervention from the rogue trader is necessary. Ceremony dictates that items symbolizing the party's arguments be placed on the scales, and once the verdict is announced, the machine spirits weigh the decision made and show either affirmation or rejection through the position of the scales. However, there has never been an occurrence where the rogue trader and the spirits of the scales were divided on the verdict. Interesting. It is highly unlikely that such an artifact actually exists. Judging by the designs of the device, it is nothing more than a set of regular, albeit enormous and masterfully crafted weight scales, devoid of machine spirits of any kind. Someone must be secretly manipulating the plates in order to add a greater profoundness to the rogue trader's verdict. Yeah, it makes sense, honestly. Victus, ask our, ask our ship's choirmaster whether Master Plas of Dargonus has been known to engage in any compromising behavior. At once, Lord Captain. The Palace of Justice falls silent for several minutes, until Victus's voice returns. Choirmaster Weiss has known Plas for quite a long time. He has made a very measured statement to the effect that for some time now, the mental images conveyed by Plas have taken on a shade of profound anxiety, and become more aloof and detached overall. Zachary Weiss attributes this to Plas's horrific experience during the Warp Storm, but he is less than completely sure, as there is still something that sets Dargonus' choirmaster's messages apart from those of his fellow survivors. Give me details about the parties to this conflict. I want to see who among them is trustworthy. As the prefect leans towards you, you get a whiff of ink and candle wax. The doleful host is a respected cult of the God Emperor. The Adeptus Ministorum has deemed them to be paragons of virtue, who combat every manner of heresies, and has enlisted their aid in various conflicts. Naturally, the ecclesiarchy stops short of counting them among its warriors, but he uses them in very similar ways. The astropathic choir hardly needs an introduction. They are some of the most valuable servants of the Imperium, without whom any and all communication between your worlds would collapse. The Dargonus choir took horrible casualties in the recent major warp storm. Master Plas made an enormous effort to at least partially restore communications. While we may not have proof of his innocence, Plas's dedication to his duty is beyond doubt. The old woman locks her shriveled fingers together. As you can see, this is an intricate situation. You see clearly now that no matter what decision you make, it will backfire on you. However, there is a way to benefit from this. Allow the host to dispense their vigilante justice, then accuse the fanatics of violating an ancient agreement that forbade the ecclesiarchy from having its own army, and proceed to confiscate the host's property. Huh. That's underhanded. I want to hear my retinue's opinions. Lord Captain, without a choirmaster, the power of Dargonus' astropaths will be significantly diminished. Unless a worthy replacement is found for Master Plas, he cannot be executed. The Seneschal frowns. There is a quarter world that owes us an old debt, which could be repaid with a seasoned astropath. We can make the request, although it would leave the planet in question with barely any means of communication. Both parties have shown respect for the Imperium's authority. The doleful host is engaging in mob justice, and the defendant did not even deign to stand trial in person. Sentence them both to death. That'd be the optimal outcome. Solomon, is it not excessive to execute both parties? No. Such a verdict will remind your subjects that only the rogue trader has the right to administer justice. Besides, if we take the host's side, we will inspire new self-proclaimed executioners. If you absolve the astropath, and he turns out to have been guilty after all, other heretics will feel safe to act with impunity. That's why I advise you to be stern. The Lex is on your side. I would like to hear out both parties. Oh, okay, I see. Let's just repeat. I'm just asking them to repeat themselves, basically. Situation is complex and requires further investigation. The prefect's dry fingers press down on the runes on her data slate. As I thought, I would deeply regret to inform you that said further investigation is impossible. The host's fighters are already breaking down the doors to the choir. Delaying the decision would lead to uncontrollable consequences. I heard you, and I'm ready to pass judgment. Yeah, no, the host needs to chill the fuck out. As you wish, your lordship. who is to face the death penalty. Um... Hmm... Let us see Sister Jude prove her faith. She may execute Pras if she acknowledges that the host is a minor army of the ecclesiarchy, for indeed it is one in essence. If the sister agrees, then upon Pras's execution, the doleful host will be sentenced to exile and expropriation, lest they be tempted to take up arms again. I think that's a good middle ground, because it could, in theory, get both out, or it keeps both. Spoken like a true heir to Lady Theodora, who could squeeze gold out of a rock. Sister Judith would never recant her statement. She would have no choice but to accept your conditions. Holy gifts, holy gifts, holy gifts, melee weaponry, range weaponry, range weaponry. The prefect proceeds matter-of-factly to the next scroll. The court will now hear petition CR 1547/33, restated. The petitioner is Cardinal Anvilis. Your argument, please, Cardinal. Oh, hello. Coming in the middle instead of on the side, that's weird. A gaunt man raises his bloodshot eyes at you. For a moment, all sound ceases, even the scratching of the countless servo skulls quills. The man's gaze is full of pain, so strong and undiluted that your breath seizes in your throat. I am impure, O Emperor's anointed one. I am beset by impure thoughts, but no one believes my confessions. I've been giving away the treasures I possess, only for the people to bring me more. Worse still is the knowledge that I'm leading people astray. They look to me and believe a state of perfect grace is attainable, while I'm very tired. The cardinal blinks away a tear and continues. But most terrible of all is that my brethren, the preachers of the Cronus Expanse, see me as a holy man. Their delusion has been so persistent that they sent a petition to Holy Terra, asking that I be made a saint. That was when I became firm in my decision to submit to torture in front of my congregation, thus reminding them that no holiness exists unless bestowed as a gift by the God Emperor. Even clerics of my rank can and must repent, thus becoming more pure every day. Please allow me to undergo mortal torture in his name in front of my parishioners. Am I hearing this correctly? Is the cardinal asking to be tortured to death for his wickedness? That is correct. In addition, he insists on your subjects bearing witness to it, as a lesson to them, so to speak. To refuse a cardinal as impious in itself, but to execute one who is a saint in all but name. You devise an elegant rendering of the sentence, one that will convince everyone that you are in the right, and save you from being branded a saint killer. All you must do is accuse the cardinal of intending to murder an all but canonized individual. What does my retinue have to say? Situation analysis complete. Let the paradox cease. Let functionality triumph. Suggestion: use the unit Cardinal Anvilas's organic remains to construct a servo skull herald and place it in an automated chattel. The status of sainthood will be extended to the liturgical mechanism. According to the Lex Imperialis. candidate saints may personally challenge their sainting by petitioning the ecclesiarch on Holy Terra. Sidestepping the head of the Imperial cult is a violation of the Emperor's law. Since astropathic communications, the rest of the Imperium has been disrupted. I propose to put Cardinal and Envelas on a ship that crosses the Maw, so that he can submit his request to the very formality observed. But Solomon, the Maw is closed. That does nothing to diminish the stipulations of the Lex Imperialis. Besides, following the letter of the law absolves you of the necessity of tainting your hands with the blood of a potential saint. Either the Cardinal will cross the Maw, thus proving his sainthood, or will perish if the Emperor wills it. As you can see, the Lex Imperialis has all the answers. I'm ready to pass my judgment. Attention! The rogue trader speaks. You know what? Solomon? I was iffy on Solomon, so I kind of fuck with it. It's either you pass over the Maw, and you are proved to be a saint, so you really can't argue anymore, or you die to the test to prove you're a saint, and people can't give me shit, and you get what you want. I'll put my trust in Solomon's advice. If the Cardinal wants to challenge his proposed sainthood, he should go to Terra. I don't think it did that for the other one, did it? It will doubtless be the Cardinal's most passionate adherents who follow him on that perilous journey, wishing to see him sainted. I suppose that would minimize the potential unrest that ecstatically fervent believers are prone to. The rogue trader has made his will clear. Cardinal Anvelis will leave the Palace of Justice and accept his fate. Let us move on to the last case for today. The court will now hear case DP 1646/7. Lady Molles Secundus against the late Lord Molles. Lord Moles being deceased, he will be represented by his progeny, Agartha and Sigillis. Okay, how the fuck do you say this word? Say this name? Sigillas Moles. Representatives of the parties will present their arguments following standard procedure. Your Lordship, I'm Lady Mole Secundus. Only 8 cycles ago, a man broke into my house posing as my husband, the late Lord Moles. Contrary to what I know, he denies that he was killed by pirates. Instead, he purportedly survived, thanks to the God Emperor's providence. However, I hold here his death certificate, issued by the Administratum, which clearly states that my husband passed away. I demand that this fraud be executed. The woman belligerently waves around a scroll in which the words, "Declared dead," are clearly visible. The arguments are acknowledged and shall be weighed on the scales of justice. The representative will retreat to the Chapel of Patience to await verdicts. Agartha Moles. Your Lordship, our father did survive. He really was captured by pirates who were going to demand ransom. The Imperial Navy managed to board the ship and rescue him. After he went missing, our mother, Lady Moles, arranged for a death certificate before we received the good news. Now we are in the humiliating position of having to prove that our father is alive, while our mother is living with her new husband, Lord Secundus, and has taken over the family business. We implore you to restore Lord Moles to his life and name. He is humbly awaiting your decision in the Chapel of Patience. Guess just bring a pillow. All arguments have been acknowledged. Let the rogue trader's verdict be delivered. What does Lord Moles have to say? The prefect plays a vox recording on one of the servo skulls. The soft voice is interspersed with static. You're able to make out the words. I am moles. When the pirates captured me, I thought I was doomed, but fate proved to be more gracious than that. I hurried home, only to from my own house by my servants, and learned that Lady Moles has already had me declared dead, and married Lord Secundus. She'd also taken control of our everything. Agartha and Sigelas have recognized me. I'm losing my mind. What does the Moles family do? The prefect turns on one of her countless data slates. The Moles family manufactures nutritional rations. They supply the Astra Militarum, as well as worlds that have no food production of their own. With the Lord at the helm, they covered the needs of 3 regiments and 5 worlds. Now it is 5 regiments and 12 worlds. One might say Lady Mole Secundus had done much better than her husband did. You, better than anyone, understands the importance of supplying an army. You immediately hash an audacious plan. Send Lady Mole Secundus to one of the fringe worlds under the pretext of exile, and have her set up the production of rations there. Yeah, it was Lieutenant General of the Astra Militarum. Let my retinue speak now. How could the woman have possibly known that her husband would make it out of a major dust-up like that? The business had ground to a halt, so she took things into her own hands. Actually, Shadeen, and a fleet, you're allowed to take several spouses precisely in case this happens. It would be a trifle for you to amend the laws of Lady Mole Secundus' homeworld. Let her continue to fill your coffers. She's more than able to able to she's more than able to handle 2 husbands. This is a complicated situation, but Lady Mole Secundus was acting in the Imperium's interest. She had shouldered the duty of care for the family business, and was in no position to wallow in her grief for cycles upon cycles. Cassia throws back her shoulders and says in a dignified voice, a marriage between people of noble birth is a union of 2 servants of the Emperor. Duty toward the Imperium is at the heart of that union. If there comes a long period of time when one of the spouses is unable to fill their obligation, the marriage loses its meaning. If you could codify this understanding in law, that would help resolve this situation. If Lady Mole Secundus is right, then her children are the imposters and accomplices, and are guilty of defaming the authenticity of the administratum documents. Now Solomon has enough sang-froid in him for a regiment. Let the woman know that her heirs must face the same fate as the criminal, for so stipulates the Emperor's law. Prefect, relay Solomon's words to Lady Mole Secundus. As you wish. The prefect's dry fingers tap quickly on her data slate. Soon afterwards, she looks up from the vid screen and says in a colorless voice, Lady Mole Secundus has confessed to bribing an administratum official and is pleading for her offspring to be spared. Okay. The case is clear to me now. I'm ready to pass my verdict. All will be silent. What is your decision, your lordship? So let me read that again. So, if you wish, yes, the lady has confessed to bribing a administrative official and is pleading for her offspring to be spared. Okay, so yeah, I am reading that right, I'm pretty sure. Um... No, I actually kind of like Jai. Jai's idea is excellent. Let Lady Mole Secundus have 2 husbands, and let her growing production output continue to be a blessing to the Protectorate. The dumbstruck prefect opens and closes her mouth like a fish out of water. I am struggling to comment on that. Will somebody share the incredible news with Lady Mole Secundus? The session is now concluded. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm not 100% sure I made the right choice. I think maybe I should have gone with my idea of sending her to the fringe worlds. As the last attendants leave the courtroom, the prefect turns to you with a delighted expression. Lady Theodora held court sessions like this to strengthen her subjects' faith in the Lex Imperialis and their fear of breaching it. A most useful practice, wouldn't you agree? It was amusing at first, but not for long. If we are finally done, I will take my leave. Of course, your lordship. I dare not take up any more of your time. Even though you will, because I'm pretty sure I need to talk to you again for Jai's quest. Oh, hey, I'm actually here. Fix the court cogitator.
Successful.
The cogitator is filled with data on the workings of the Palace of Justice, listing things such as the names of servants and details of executions. The number of people entering the building is way greater than that of those leaving it. Well, yeah. The sacred symbol of the Imperium's justice, implacable and unsparing.
Victory awaits!
Hello. Loot. Okay, let's... Oh, hold on. Examine the book. So we can go there and get that
I
loot.
did fine.
Excerpts from the Lex Dargonis with addendums. Excerpts from the Lex Dargonis with addenda. The changes personally signed by Theodore von Valancius reflect the current situation of the Coronis Expanse. Go Pascal. That's my boy.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Grab those. The cogitator is filled with the personal data of the executed. All their possessions have been meticulously accounted for and deposited in the storerooms of the Administratum.
Only
These
a
monumental
fool sees the
scales
is a symbol of impartial judgment. A wise person knows that a deft hand will always tip the scales in the right direction.
go over to his office, which is God, Imperium bureaucracy. The monumental scales barely fit inside the Palace of Justice. They were crammed into the halls after the Adeptus Arbites arrived. We got one more bit of loot over here. Hello, paper. This time-worn piece of paper bears a petition of some sort. He managed to make out only a fragment. Then he treacherously intruded upon the ancestral territories of House Gaprak and wrought destruction therein. The list of damages is headed by but not limited to 3 servitors of ancient make, 5 armored vehicles, and 10 cogitators whose machine spirits are beyond recovery. Consequently, we demand that House Sarbach be penalized for an amount thricely covering the damages inflicted. In support of our accusation, we provide the following. Fuck you, Sarbach. I'm just not a fan of her. She's just kind of a bitch.
Excellence matters.
Financial reports. The procurement data does not match up with the spending, but this has been gracefully covered up by way of shrinkage columns. I see you there. Love how often you can just throw a fucking melt bomb on something. A new shield. Is that a better shield for Abelard? 10% block. Combat Master talent. I think there are 3 copies of this shield. Gain bonuses based on the number of adjacent allies wielding the Oh, I see. So if I found like another one and gave this to like Solomon and had them in the front together, and then like Heinrichs or myself were also like a steel build, a shield build, that'd be pretty decent. What's the Combat Master talent? Standing safe, suffering sun. Oh, that's that. Like honestly, if I had like a shield wall bit, like team build, that'd be really good if I could find the other 2.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
As it is not better. Turn to the void chip. Okay. Goodness gracious. Let's see, can I go down there and get Jai's stuff stamped? So I want to do that real quickly. See Stone Room, Administratum. Yeah, now it's Jai's turn. Argenta, you're coming with us. Now it's Jai's turn. Okay, so it was in Solomon's turn first. And now it goes to Jai. Gotcha, noted. I'm gonna save the level up for next stream just so I can hopefully get through Jai stuff pretty quickly. Hello, Master of Seals. Ah, Deis von Valancius, you have returned. I hope the sacred document I entrusted to you last time has now successfully passed through the approval procedure. Here's your paper, complete with seals. The ocular lenses on the old woman's nose emit a subtle hum as she adjusts the magnification. Yes, oh yes, indeed it is perfect. The seals are authentic, so we continue with the certification procedure. Follow me, please. Oh, goodness. Mm. This place is a bit of a mess. Why some... Oh, goodness gracious. Don't you dare tell me I need to wait in this line. I mean, really neat fucking, like, camera flyby. Oh god, there's so many people. This is your cue, and your ticket number is... The old woman's ocular lenses hum as she zooms in on the paper in her hand. 394. When it is your turn to be seen, the ranking prefect will review your documentation again and sign the official certificate for Jai Haidari to possess Mercatum Tabulae Officiale. You will have a bit of a wait, but it will be worth it in the end, yes? Is this some kind of joke? The Master of Seals peers at you over your ocular lenses. Hardly. In accordance with Decree DA-58, Clause 201, citizens of the capital world of the Von Valancius Protectorate must submit their petitions at one of the assigned windows of the waiting hall. The decree makes no mention of the rogue trader being exempt from this rule. I'm a rogue trader and sovereign of this world. If I must queue, then queue I shall. Then I bid you good day. May the law and the Emperor keep you. Hey yo, you got games on your phone?
A new challenge for me?
The crowd hums and surges like the sea in foul weather. The smell of unwashed bodies, ancient parchment and ink assaults your nose. For many petitioners, this is not their first cycle waiting to be seen. I'm gonna explore around this a little bit, at least. Bundles of wires have been ripped out by the servitor's neck, and this yellow fluid is seeping from its damaged joints. How angry would a person have to be to do this? You cannot get back there.
I won't tolerate weakness.
There we go. Hey, Manos, you have a name, but I can't talk to you.
Vital Specs has detected something.
Oh, good job, Pascal. Neat, neat. Another piece of paper. Task list for current work turn. 1. Compose an order for the servitization of 90% of the population of Asteroid Mining Station VMK-498 for the purposes of increasing productivity. Prepare a set of documents for the reclassification of the world of Abo 6 as a penal colony on the orders of Her Ladyship Theodora von Valancius. Task the newly appointed adepts of the Administration with conducting a review of all unresolved petitions in the last 5,999 cycles. Make a big mug of recaf.
None shall stand in my way.
You know, I'm surprised people aren't making a bigger deal of me being around, honestly. Like, we can't actually get that way. Thank you, Cassia. Addendum number 32-4 to Addendum number 874-BA7 to a document NXC 4026-82. An addendum to a document. T. Regiments of the Astra Militarum sent to the frozen world of Zenagar 2 required supplies of warm clothing, footwear, and snowshoes for a successful combat maneuver with a further offensive against the enemies of humanity and the Emperor. Due to a gross error by a low-ranking adept of the Adeptus Administratum, instead of the aforementioned supplies, soldiers received 800 cryobanks, resulting in the death by freezing of the majority of the troops before the commencement of the mission of retribution. For the purposes of improving efficiency, the adept responsible was subjected to servitude in perpetuities, as a result of which he is now discharging his duties flawlessly. I mean, yeah, when people go, hey, we're on a frozen world, can we get some stuff to keep us warm? And the guy goes, here's some stuff to freeze you more. It's like, I'm not, you know. I love how I just have the one chair. Abelard and Jai saying next to me, Cassie's sitting on a bench. Argente's viewing some manuscripts, Pascal's looking at the cogitator. I do love scenes like this, where you really kind of get a bit of a feel for different characters, and they're just sort of waiting. The queue hums with thousands of voices. Someone has rolled out bedding and is settling down to sleep. Someone is playing some bizarre musical instruments. Many are praying. Several highborn petitioners are debating who is here on the most important business. You have to admit, the magnificent administrative machinery of the Imperium isn't without its rough edges. Jai smiles sheepishly, eyeing the queue. But what a thrilling adventure this is turning out to be, Shireen. I've never seen anything like it before. And sometimes it's good to take a break from constant traveling, and to give all the hot-blooded newcomers a chance to cover themselves in glory without us in the way. Count the people in the queue. The people are constantly moving, coming and going, changing places or simply disappearing from view. On your first attempt, you count 238 petitioners. On your second attempt, you count 244. On your third attempt, the next batch of unlucky souls is ushered into the hall, and you lose count. I'm gonna order my servants to prepare a waiting area befitting a rogue trader. Look, I'm gonna be a little spoiled here. I don't care. Oh, why is Cassie sitting on her own? Cassie, baby girl, come over here. Abelard's still standing. You feel the envious eyes of the other petitioners upon you, but no one dares to do anything more than stare. Yawn. The minutes drag by intolerably slowly. Somewhere in the queue, a child is howling at the top of its lungs. The palace adepts are sedately moving documents from one pile to another, shuffling papers. Several petitioners have gathered in a huddle and are swapping rumors, while someone has laid down for a nap on a nearby bench. Scratch the back of your neck. You have whiled away 30 seconds of your wait. You wonder how long you have left to go. Wait patiently. 8 hours. In the last 8 hours, the only thing that has changed in the waiting hall is the warden shift. The petitioners in the queue placidly await the blessed hour when their appeal will be heard by the high-ranking servants of the Imperium. The entire queue perks up at a sudden announcement. Number 285, proceed to the available window. Throne, take me. What torturous trials have we let ourselves in for? Jay almost wails in despair. So much precious time lost, and we've only moved 3 places ahead. At this rate, we'll be old and grey before we get out of this queue, Shireen. Do you have a better idea? You wound me, Shireen. Jay Haddadi always has a better idea. What would you say to making the good folk ahead of us hurry up a little? Just a smidge. Her eyes dart playfully over the faces of the people around you. The simplest way is to make these lowly subjects bow down before the blinding radiance of our title, Shireen. The second option requires a little more patience. I've already found our first the compassionate citizen who is standing 50 places ahead of us in the queue. Simply offer the right words to unlock his heart, and he will gladly swap tickets with you. And also, you have the power to solve the problem of some petitioners, removing their need to visit this coveted window. After all, is there anything an ordinary citizen could want that is beyond the power of the conqueror of the stars, Sagant? Uh... Oh my god, the fact that that's an option just feels so far out of left field. You shall solve the problems of the common people. A wise decision, Chetty. Gold Jetty does always say, if you can solve a problem with hard cash, then that's just the cost of doing business. Jai gives you a conspiratorial wink and backs away slightly. Oh, exalted one, could today be my lucky day? No longer will I have to stand in this hall waiting day and night for my turn to come, for his kind lord of House von Valancius is a benefactor of the downtrodden, and he has solved my problem. Esteemed lord, take pity on this poor youth as well. I'll give you everything I have, I swear before the Emperor. Only help me solve my problem. We do not need everything, Portawatch. Only your place, Portadatch. Only your place in the queue. I shall do everything in my power. The young man in worn work overalls comports himself with unusual grace for a commoner. My lord, I've been in this queue for 24 moons already, trying to get a permission slip to wed my fiancée, Zazie. Unfortunately, the servants of the administration refused to grant it without the signature of a high-born sponsor. Out of my way! Elbowing aside onlookers left and right, a richly dressed lady with a beauty mark augment over her lip charges towards you. Esteemed lord, my 8th offspring has lost his mind. He has decided to renounce his family, his noble title, and his talents as a healer, all for the sake of some tattered waif from the middle layers. A union with a commoner will put an end to his studies at the university, but should Dargonus and the Officio Medicae be deprived of a capable chirurgeon because of a passing fancy? Zazie is a healer too, and she helps the people of the Hive a great deal more than any lily-white chirurgeon with a diploma. I do not want to live a life of idleness in the spires of Dargonus like you. Not when I know there are thousands of unfortunate people in the lower levels who need my help. Um. That. That seems. I could just look at this guy and go, "You're in charge of the Darkonis University of." I'm not gonna go that far. That seems like a bit of a jump. In the name of House von Valancius, I hereby make your fiancée a lady of the court, and release her from any obligations thereto. The young man spent several seconds opening and closing his mouth in shock. That means our marriage will finally be certified, and Zazie will be able to become a churchin now too. I don't know how to thank you, my lord. Here, please, take my place. I'll return later, this time with my fiancée. There we go. You have an interesting way of doing business, Shadeen. I'll keep that in mind. Jai's shrewd eyes are alight with interest as she watches the young petitioner leave. After allowing you a brief pause, a hunched ragamuffin approaches you. The old man's toothless mouth breathes out a putrefying cloud of air as he speaks only 3 words. Death for life. Um, Jay peers over the man's shoulder to read his crumpled form. You are here to request mortification, so that your organs go to your granddaughter as an inheritance. She will hardly want your worn-out body parts, old-timer. The ragged man shakes his head and covers his face with wrinkled hands. Servitor, disposal. Only now do you notice a tattoo on his right hand, a symbol of the Adeptus Administratum and several interlocking chains. It seems this old fellow is the property of a prefect of this palace. Jay looks at the man's form again, and rears back in horror. The granddaughter of this poor wretch has turned into a servitor 16 Dargonis years ago. After a recent accident, he was listed for disposal, and now this old man is volunteering to be spared parts for a soulless tin can. May the Exalted One keep me from such a fate. I will have my people buy your granddaughter's release and see to your welfare. Oh no, 1 profit factor. The old man's withered lips curve into the semblance of a smile. May the Emperor keep you. Oh, goodness gracious. Interesting. So that's how the ruler of worlds and all the stars in the sky act when he finds an unfortunate on the edge of his magnificent orbit. Jane nods pensively and beckons the next petitioner forward. A mature woman in a finely made but threadbare dress greets you. I see you are helping those in need. Well, my family is devastated. My life's work, oh, my shop selling rare hats, burnt to ashes. I'm living out my last years as a widow, alone in a cold, deserted manor, without servants, diversions, or delicacies befitting my status. The woman falls silent, her brow raised in expectation of your response. Perhaps I could rebuild this hat shop for you. The woman's belligerent eyes spark to life. Why, that's a wonderful idea. Please take my place in the queue here. I insist. I will leave my details with your retinue and go. Just, uh-huh. Kinda wanna say, like, hey, why don't you just turn to face? Go fuck yourself, but like, I'm not gonna be that harsh. Oh my god, 3 more hours passing me just solving people's problems. Well, that was amusing. I paid off the last few onlookers who were willing to give up their place. It's a pity they aren't all so amenable. Jane inspects the ticket she now holds and nods with satisfaction. We've moved forward considerably in the queue, Shadeen. You aren't ready to stop there, are you? Sister Argenta, for instance. Jai's voice becomes noticeably warmer. She could engage the people in a prayer or tell a story about some saints or other in exchange for their queue tickets. Alright, use your tricks. I'd prefer to call it my wisdom learned through many years' experience, but I don't care about the precise wording just now. How do you wish to proceed, Shadeen? Sister Argenta, I believe these people have been gripped by despondency. A sermon from one of his daughters could restore them to their determination. You were thinking about this as well? Argenta's gaze is clear as the midday sun. Words of faith can heal any wound, even those that bleed naught but death. I will help these people. Come closer, brothers and sisters, for I am about to tell you about true faith and humility in the face of adversity. Oh, I'm getting hungry. I haven't actually eaten anything yet today. One day, they appealed to Saint Justina. 2 more hours pass. As they say on Ifrit, there is no star more coveted than that which points to the exalted one. Jai casts a sidelong glance at the Sister of Battle, as the latter holds out several numbered tickets to you. These were given to me in thanks for the poor souls who decided to abandon their vigil in this palace of law, and return to their worldly matters. We've moved forward. You are not ready to stop there, are you? Address the tender-hearted man. Jai catches your eye and lays her hand on the shoulder of a weary-looking man. May the Emperor illuminate your path, brother. I'm Jai, and this is Deis. We've been in the queue so long already. We're all practically family now. Won't you tell us what brought you to this palace of order? The man starts in surprise. Yes, the light of the throne, bless you. My name is Menace Tapir. I've been here a month already. I've tried everything I can to get through that window. Nothing working. My poor Elena. She's my daughter, my flesh and blood. They detained her on Rabo 6. Charged her. Can you believe it? The charges were false. That's how our administratum operates. Menace covers his mouth and glances around fearfully. I've said too much. I do apologize. It's my nerves. I just keep thinking about here on Vabos. Shackled down in the mines. My poor Elena. As delicate as a flower she is. She's got weak lungs, you understand? Always coughing. And now down the mines. All that dust and muck. She won't cope with it, she won't. She was acquitted 2 years ago, but to get the papers certified and the seals, so much time has passed. And now here I am, standing, waiting, it doesn't matter. At the rate this queue's moving, it'll be 10 cycles or more before our number comes up. What was your daughter accused of? Falsely accused. She was slandered. They said she deliberately poisoned the whole room of highborn folk with cakes. Have you heard of the like of it? These nobles didn't even make as far as the privy. Panic, outrage, scandal. And so what? It was their own fault, that's what. A crate of fine Galixian wine was found. Ha! The smugglers were found too. What did the smugglers do? They framed someone else, and my daughter was charged. Of course, blame the smugglers. I do not think your daughter would mind if you let the rogue trader go ahead of you. Menace's fleshy face tenses at your words. But, well, the time, and I've been... of course, it would be an honor for the Pierre family. Please, go ahead, your lordship. Didn't expect it to run out. Not as smoothly done as it could have been, but you certainly have a style all your own, Shireen. What's now? Another 2 hours pass. Whatever you're thinking, do it. You do not need to tell me twice, Shireen. All is fair in love and bureaucracy. You often only see petitions who have been signed number of tickets thanks to the Exalted when I managed to get one on the next queue over. Oh, goodness. Oi. Another 2 hours go past. If these Ashmogs want to be tricked, I won't stop them. Jay smugly watches the agitated crowd, whispering among themselves and jabbing each other with sheaves of paper. We've moved forward considerably in the queue shutting, but you aren't ready to stop there, are you? I want to consider everything again. Of course, Shadeen. Our number in the queue is... Jai checks the ticket. Oh, exalted one, I wish I hadn't looked. We're definitely not going anywhere soon, Shadeen. You need to make a decision. Wait patiently. 8 more hours pass. We've been here for a day. The hum of activity returns to the queue. Petitioners exchange glances, clutching their paperwork. After a few seconds, you realize that the number being called out by the servo skull for the 3rd time is the one on your ticket. Well, that went faster than I expected. With a little bit of a wait, of course, but at times it was actually fun. Jai smiles wearily. One last seal, one more certification, and you'll be looking at official trade representative Jai Haidari. What are you waiting for, Shireen? Let's go. We have another couple of hours with the certification officer to get through. Oh, God. The certification officer leans over the document. His smoothly shaven head gleaming. His augmented ocular eyes whir as the lenses zoom in and out. With quiet scratching sounds, the cogitator quills that serve in place of the officer's fingers make notes on a fine sheet of paper. The document is hereby certified. This is a rasping. The document is hereby certified, says the rasping voice through the metal jaw with its integrated box. Return to the Master of Seals in order to proceed, and may his light and wisdom guard you. Next!
Follow my lead.
Please be done. The Temple of Law and Order greets you, Deis von Valancius. You have returned with the necessary paperwork, I presume? Here are all the seals, placed by a certification officer. Wonderful! The Emperor blessed you with patience greater than that's appointed to ordinary mortals. Allow me to verify the authenticity of your documents for the final time. The old woman holds the documents close so that they are almost touching her nose, her mechanical ocular lenses clicking incessantly. Yes, confirmed. Everything is in order, and this one... the seal is smudged slightly. Jai's smile evaporates, revealing her true emotions. Voided scorpions scratch at my eyes, what now? I suppose I can overlook it, given that the rest has been certified correctly and promptly. Congratulations, Jai Haidari. You are now the holder of a Mercatum Tabulae Officiale. Do not forget to repeat the certification process every 100 Terran years. Uphold the law of the Imperium proudly and honorably in the world of the Coronis Expanse. And one more thing. Loss of the certificate is a grievous transgression, Mistress Haidari. Lose the original document, and you will be unable to regain your status as an official trade representative, not even with the rogue trader's endorsement. Yes, yes, esteemed Damar, give me the certificate already, come on! Jai's eyes dart over to the Mercatum Tabulae Officiale and shine with delight. Praise the exalted one who saw me through all these trials, Shadeen. This is something to tell the grandchildren about. A humble mortal became a trade representative of the Imperium. Let's not bother the Damar any longer, Shadeen. Why don't we discuss our next steps on the ship? Okay, we'll talk to you next stream. I've gone 20 minutes over my usual time, and I need to get some food. Your boy is hungry. So with that said, thank you all very much for coming around and hanging out. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you are watching this on Kick, please consider giving me a follow. It would help a ton. If you missed any of the stream and you want to catch up, I do upload all my streams over to my YouTube channel. And to those of you on YouTube, please consider like, comment, subscribe, all that engagement stuff. It will help out so much and would be greatly appreciated. But other than that, thank you all very much for coming around and hanging out. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your days. Peace out, homies.